So 12 sounds on bank A, 12 sounds on bank B, 12 sounds on bank C, and 12 different sounds on bank D. So there's a total of 48 sounds within this set. I maxed it out. You know, I tried to utilize the MPC's memory, you know, as much as possible, or tried, you know, I tried to create something where I wouldn't have to load a beat, stop, load the next beat, and there's that silence or downtime, like if I'm up on stage, like doing a showcase or something like that. I wanted to create something where I can keep something continuous and going, like how a DJ would mix records.
Did you trigger a loop and then you're muting that trigger of the loop every time?
Yes. So since this is only one sequence that's 2 bars long, what I did was I muted everything. And I would unmute. I use a track mute technique where I would only unmute like pad 3, like pad 1, 2, and 3 on bank A, and whatever's on those pads is playing, while everything else, it's like everything like on 48 different tracks, like unmuted would be playing all at the same time. It'll just be chaos. Yeah, so everything, it's like everything is sequenced to just 2 bars, but you only unmute what you have arranged. Like my first beat is only on pads 1, 2, and 3. So I have it structured. I have it mapped out where it's like beat 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then multiply that by A, B, C, and D. It's like 4, 8, 12. You know, 16 beats pretty much. So, but this is just an example of what you can do. You can do it different ways. It all depends on how you want to arrange and program your sound. I'm going to showcase a beat that I made on the MPC 500, and then I'm going to explain the anatomy of that beat. Okay. So this beat has loops as well, but what I did was I did some drum programming and added a bunch of percussion to it as well. Thanks. Okay, so this beat, I'm gonna go over the drums. I used a lot of layers for the drums for this beat. So you have 4 different kicks, and they're all layered over the top of each other. And then 4 different snares. And and then 4 different hi-hats. This is all a drum layer. And then for the percussion, oh wait, that's the bass line. So it's like a acoustic bass. So I just used 4 different bass notes and then some percussion. These are the different sounds that I used for this beat. And then the loops. So I did some EQ filtering, and what I did was I basically created I guess what would be considered a middle frequency based on EQ. And the reason why I did that was like most of the lows would be coming from the acoustic bass, and a good amount of the highs would naturally come from the drums. So I kind of simulated my own EQ, for example, if that makes any sense for this beat. Any questions? So the MPC 500, it's really portable, and it's good for like doing, like, if you're on the go. For example, like one of my trips here, when I was on the airplane, I was actually making beats on this because it runs on batteries, which is cool. And you know, you could like make music wherever you are, which is what I like about this machine. But in my opinion, I wouldn't use this as my main machine for making music unless you're like really familiar with MIDI. The way that I see it is like a little brother, a little sister to the bigger MPCs. So you would use it as a counterpart to the bigger machines. So it's like a video game system where you have your PlayStation, then you have your PSP, or you know, Nintendo DS to the Nintendo Wii, that kind of thing. So the battery life for this on average would be about 5 hours, which is pretty long, depending on what you're doing. Like if you're making just a regular beat, that's a lot of time. It runs on 6 AA batteries. As far as beat sets on the MPC would go, I haven't really seen anyone create the type of sets that I would put together. I can name a few beat makers that do, but it's the kind of stuff that they do is like really live and I mean like crazy live. I'll be honest with you, I suck. You know, I'm not that good. You know, I try to do some live stuff, but I would use techniques that would benefit my limited skills. For instance, I'll get into more details after I play this beat set. Okay.